How do you even begin to understand parents who leave their kids alone or forget them anywhere? However shocking it may seem, this actually happens far too often. We're sure the first thing some of you think about is the movie Home Alone. Well, it turns out there are far more crazier instances that have happened in real life. Here's 10 shocking cases of parents forgetting their kids. In 2008, an Israeli family decided to move to Paris, France. A father, mother, and 5 kids successfully made their way together to Ben Gurion Airport, quickly got their tickets and documents together, and flew all the way to Paris. The father, mother, and 4 kids. Their 4-year-old daughter was found by airport personnel wandering about the duty-free area. As it turned out, because the tickets were purchased at the last minute, the family members got seats that were scattered about the plane, so the little girl's absence went unnoticed. But she was a smart little girl that knew her first and last name and was in turn reunited with her parents in Paris, supervised by responsible adults. In 2015, a father with his 1-year-old daughter came together to the train station. He locked his car and took a train to go somewhere. While traveling, he realized he'd forgotten his daughter on the back seat. The father called 911 and notified the police about the situation, and they responded quickly, finding the car and got the girl out. It took another 20 minutes before the father arrived. The little girl was very fortunate, being that it was summer and the car hadn't heated up too much. In 2012 alone, 29 children died under similar conditions in the States. The year before, 2011, a total of 30 children died in the US from being locked up in a car in the heat. This one took place in New York City. Stanley Frederick forgot his 3-year-old daughter at a fast food restaurant. At 11:30 p.m., a guest at the fast food joint named Michaela Wansley noticed the little girl alone. Footage from the restaurant showed Mr. Frederick wandering about with his daughter, appearing drunk, ordering his burger and leaving without his daughter by his side. Miss Wansley took a guess at what had happened and walked the little girl to the nearest police department. The girl's father only realized that his daughter was missing the following morning after receiving a call from his ex-wife who asked about her whereabouts. This is also another instance involving a 3-year-old girl and her father in Trinidad. No, the father did not lose her at the department store. They actually made it all the way home together, as seen on footage shot from a CCTV camera pointed at the front door. Right as the father was about to open the door to the house, 2 robbers armed with pistols held them and the daughter at gunpoint. So what did the dad do? He stayed calm until he saw the moment to run away very quickly and leave behind his daughter with the armed thugs. Luckily, the robbers left the girl alone when they realized the home was locked and dispersed. Another similar situation that any normal person would be baffled by took place in Florida. 2 mothers, 30-year-old Jessica and 25-year-old Christine, decided to rob a local grocery store, and with them brought their 11-year-old daughters. Yeah, that's right. Filling up their shopping cart with groceries, they attempted to make their way out of the store without paying for anything. They somehow managed to convince the security guard that they would take care of the purchases after loading them into the car. The guard believed their story since they left their daughters inside the store. After the mothers made their getaway, police officers who arrived at the scene were able to make contact with one of the mothers over the phone by getting the number from one of their daughters. The lady promised to come back up for her daughter but never showed up. Both girls were later taken into the Department of Homeland Services, and so the girls' own mothers left their daughters for a couple of shopping carts full of groceries. What? In Gilbert, Arizona, a mother left her 2-month-old daughter in a kid seat next to the car by a local grocery store. That day was particularly hot, 104 degrees Fahrenheit. The girl was rescued by the worker of a nearby hair salon. She took the girl inside and called 911. The police came to the scene and determined that the 26-year-old mother bought her groceries, loaded them into the car but forgot her daughter and drove off. Only after arriving home, 40 minutes later, did she realize that she had left her daughter. She returned to the grocery store where she was met by law enforcement officers. August 2015, a French family decided to take a family vacation to Marseille by car. On the way there, they stopped at a roadside cafe to grab a bite to eat. After taking a breather and having ate, they carried on. An hour and a half later, having traveled about 100 miles from the cafe, they noticed that their 3-year-old daughter was left behind. Luckily, the daughter was quickly found by another couple traveling and brought to the police, who over the radio determined the parents' identity and contacted them and asked them to come get their daughter from them. This instance involves 2 grown but irresponsible adults, a mother and her stepsister. The 2 girls went out to get their favorite bakery goods at a trendy cafe in San Diego, taking with them a car seat with a 5-month-old child. We all know that leaving your child in a car in the heat is very dangerous. The worker at the cafe let the ladies know that they were all out of their favorite pastries, and the distraught ladies left disappointed and forgot the car seat with the baby. The cafe's worker was unable to find the women through sheer detective work and phoned the police. The ladies only noticed the child's absence half an hour later and quickly returned. They were not immediately able to take back custody of the child, as they had to have a stern talking to by police, and were tested to see if they were under either the influence of drugs or alcohol. 19-year-old Phoenix resident Catalina Closer forgot that she had left her 2-month-old in a car seat atop her car and drove a whole 12 miles with the child on top of her car. When she remembered about her son's existence, it was too late. He was no longer there. The baby was found sleeping calmly by a curb. This time, the irresponsible mother was not let off easy. She faced trial and was found guilty for negligence and given 1.5 years in prison. Because she was neither under the influence of drugs or alcohol, and she was so young with child, her sentence was reducible. The most irresponsible parents, the Englands, we've left for number 10 on our countdown, who in July of 2015, while vacationing in Turkey, left their 10-month-old baby on a blow-up mattress on the sea and went sunbathing. When the parents finally noticed their daughter's absence, the tide had already taken her about a mile away from shore. For Melda, everything turned out all right. A charter boat reached her to her parents, if that's what you can call them. Fortunate for Melda, she was asleep the whole time because if she had so much as turned over, she would have tipped over into the water and had to have fended for herself. And that's it for this episode of High Five. Please don't forget your kids while watching our show. Always keep an eye on them or you may end up on a list like this. Go ahead and high five that like button and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching and we'll see you next time.